Hello, beautiful people. April Mack here. It feels like forever since I came on and did a live. And today's post was inspired by one of the clients that I've been working with who we're working together so that she can launch a course. And that's a really new thing for her. And she's super excited, but kind of scared at the same time. So I thought, it's worth coming on here and having a bit of a chat about that, because when we start something new, we often feel kind of excited and scared at the same time. And the scared bit, the fears, can get in our way of actually taking action. So I wanted to come on here and talk about that. So if you're watching now, say hi so I know who's here. And also if you're watching on a replay, hashtag replay. So leave a comment, let me know. I always love to have it as a conversation rather than just me sitting here talking at you. So if you've got comments to make as we go, I would love to hear them. So really what I wanted to do is talk about the fear that gets in our way, because it happens a lot, and that's a lot of the reason why people come to me. They say, April, I've got a thing, I want to do it, but I'm scared and I don't know where to start. And the first thing I would say is, if you have the desire to do something new or launch something or create something that you haven't done before, the first place to start is to know that if you had the idea for it in the first place, then it is a thing worth pursuing. You wouldn't have the idea or want to create it if it wasn't something that the universe didn't want you to do. You just wouldn't even get the desire or the thought in the first place. So that's the first place to start, is to know that our desires, our dreams, our thoughts, I call them divinely inspired. So I believe, you may or may not believe this, but I believe that you don't even get that idea unless the universe, what I call the divine, has helped you to even have that thought in the first place. So first thing is, if that's the case, then you will succeed. You just need to know the steps, and you need to, keep moving through them, even though the fears come up. So often I see people who've had a dream, they've had it for a long time, but they haven't pursued it because fear has gotten in the road. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today, and how you can, even with the fear, I'm not saying feel the fear and do it anyway, because you hear that said a lot. That's not what I'm saying. I'm going to take you through some steps that I have used for myself and that I use with my clients to help you push through in a way that feels good. Not push through in a way that's like kicking and screaming, I don't want to do it, It's like a way to just keep the momentum going without, shitting yourself, basically. I should be careful not to swear in case there's any kids in the background. So I've got my notes here, so that's why I look down, because otherwise I lose my train of thought. So I usually have notes that I refer to. So first thing, it's normal to have the fear. Like when we start anything new and doing something for the first time, it's very, very normal to have fear. It doesn't matter who you are or how experienced you are. If it's completely new to you, then it's going to be a little bit scary, right? Because you're outside of your comfort zone. You're outside of your area of expertise or comfort. So I'll just give a quick example. When I first decided to leave the corporate world and redefine myself as a coach, that was really scary for me. And it didn't matter that I'd had a lot of years of experience in a particular area. It was a new thing that I was doing, and I had to give myself a new title and be talking about new subjects that weren't that familiar to me. So I felt bloody scared. And, I felt a little bit fraudulent at times too, because I was like calling myself a coach, even though I hadn't yet had any clients. But we all have to start somewhere. You start with nothing. It's like when you create a Facebook account, you've got 0 followers to start with, and you build it over time by putting out your stuff, So we all start somewhere. We will all have fear. It doesn't matter. If it's something new, you're going to have the fear. So just kind of acknowledging that, knowing that you're not alone in having fear is kind of helpful, I think. People like to know that we're not alone, don't we? Now, if you're watching, please say hi. I'm just going to say, oh, hello, hello, hello. There's a few beautiful people watching. Nice to see you. So first thing, have the fear. Know it's okay to have it. Doesn't mean you give up on it, okay? It does not mean that at all. So the second thing is the doubts that are going to go on in your mind. It's going to be your mind that you're going to have to be most vigilant about. This is where doing some inner personal work is really, really helpful, because our minds are masters at talking us out of things, right? And the little fears, it's like the devil on the shoulder, you know, you've got the little devil going, oh, April, how can you call yourself a coach? You've never done coaching. Oh, you know, your background's in IT. What the hell are you thinking of? And if you listen to that voice, you'll be talked out of it every time. Okay, so when I had to launch, every course that I launch, every time I have the idea to create a new course, for example, that little voice will pipe up and say, oh, no one's going to buy that. Who's going to want that? There's other coaches out there doing courses like that. They're better than you. They're more experienced than you. Who's going to buy yours, April? The little devil on the shoulder. Does anyone resonate with this? Does anyone else have that devil on their shoulder? So what you need is the angel on the other shoulder, which could be you or a friend or someone you trust, to remind you that that little voice is actually full of shit, basically. And that little voice is it's usually part of your amygdala, the part of your brain that's trying to keep you safe, the ancient part of the brain that's kind of going to keep you safe, small, where you're not going to be put at risk, where you're not going to do stuff that's out there, that's beyond the comfort zone. So it's got a great role to play, that voice. And in times of, you know, when there are saber-toothed tigers running around and whatever else, then you probably ought to listen to that voice. However, it's not the case now. And when you launch something new, the worst thing that can happen is nobody might buy it, or maybe only a few people will buy it, or, you know, you have to tweak it or redo it or something, but you will learn in the process. So the process is never wasted, because we learn so much in it. And you know what, the fears that whatever that little voice is telling you are very likely to be completely unfounded. And so what we need to do is start to look for the evidence about how truthful are those fears from the little devil. I'll call it the devil. It's not really the devil, but you know, it's just that part of us that worries and gets nervous. So we can go through some steps. So I've written out what the steps are that I usually take people through. First thing is, like I mentioned earlier on, if you have the desire, just know within yourself that you wouldn't have had that desire if it wasn't something that you are capable of delivering, that the universe is backing you to deliver, and that people want. You just have to find the people that are going to want it, and you're going to have to trust in yourself and the universe that what you've got within you, you're ready to do. And you will be ready, it's just that you don't know that. And this is where someone like a coach, like what I do, can come in and just reassure you, you know, just hold your hand as you get ready to take that new big step. A lot of the stuff that I do for people is not really me. They already know the stuff, and that, you know, I might have a coaching call and I'll say, how are you going? What's happening? And they'll say, oh, I don't know. I can't do it. And I'm like, yes, you can. You know you can. And it's just a case of reassuring them that they have all the skills, that they can do it. And it's kind of like if you're going to go, one of my clients gave me this example. She was doing a bungee jump and she was sitting at the edge of the cliff and she wanted to do the jump, but she was just freaking out and scared. And so one kind of coach might come along and just push you over the bloody edge. Now, that's not my style at all. You know, say, feel the fear and do it anyway. Another one might just sit down next to you and say, do you know what? I've done it. I've done this jump. I've done it 100 times and I know it's okay. I know it's safe and I know how to do it. And I know how you're feeling as well. That's more my style, you know, hold the hand, take you through it in a gentle way where you're not going to feel like you're just being thrown over the edge of a cliff. So first thing is, you have the desire, then it means you know, the universe wants you to do it. The second thing is, write down, pen and paper is bloody awesome for anything you're resisting, any fears you've got about anything. The best tool that you have, more than anything else in the world, is you, a pen and a piece of paper. It's free. You can do it anywhere, anytime. Nobody else has to read it but you. When you put pen to paper and you ask yourself the question at the top of the page, what am I most scared of? And you just sit with that and just let it flow, you will get insights and gold into what it is that you're most worried about. And that's a place to start then, because you know what it is. It could be an old limiting belief, and I've got a worksheet on that if anyone wants that and hasn't got it, just write in the comments worksheet and I'll send you that. It might be some old limiting belief that you're just not good enough, or that you don't know enough, or you're not as good as so-and-so, or whatever it is. And you can clear that out. It's easy. It's really easy. You can do it yourself. You don't need a coach for that. You can just do that yourself. So the pen and paper is probably the best tool that you've got. What am I most scared of? Get it all out, and then you can see it written down and go, oh, right. And then you look at that list of whatever it is that the fears are, and you say to yourself, well, how real are these fears? Are they really founded? Is there evidence that, these are not that real? They're not actually going to amount to anything. So looking for evidence. And when you look for evidence, if it's something new you're starting and you've never done it, don't forget that you weren't born. You're not a baby. You're not a baby lying on its back screaming without knowing how to even wipe its bum, right? You have got however many years, however old you are. I've got 47 years of being in this world of knowledge and wisdom and skill. Even when I first started as a coach, sure, I hadn't done coaching before, but I had years and years of experience as a professional, teaching people, training, communicating. I was a mother. Being a mother means you're automatically a bloody coach, if you ask me. So do you know what I mean? Like, anytime you're reinventing yourself or launching something new, don't forget that you've got knowledge, wisdom, skills from all the other amazing things you've done, and you're just going to pivot those, just twist them, turn them towards this new goal. It's not like you're starting from, I hear people talking about their prices and, I can't charge much because I've only just started, say, as a celebrant, I've only just started. Well, it's not like you've never, communicated to people or organised things before. You've got all these beautiful skills. You're just newly qualified as a celebrant, but doesn't mean you've just walked out of, the womb and you're suddenly in front of a room having to, be a celebrant. So it's really important to think about the fact that you've got all these beautiful skills and offerings to share. Next thing is, and he's good. Okay, so once you've done that and you've got some, your fears out on the table, maybe it is the case that you've got some skills gaps. So have you got any that are really valid, or are they just, little devil there trying to talk you out of it? Do you actually have some skills gaps that you need to fill? And if so, what are you going to do? Create a little plan to get those skills so that you can do this thing that you had the idea to do, because honestly, if you had the idea to do it, the world needs it. It really does. And there are people out there who will value it and need it too. And by you not getting off your butt and sorting out your own shit and getting through your fears, then you're doing a disservice not only to yourself but to other people who really need that gift that you have to offer. So I believe this. Every single person I work with have unique gifts. They all have them, every single one of us. And they're unique because there's no one with the exact same experience as you. You see the world in a way that nobody else, there's no other person, even if you're an identical twin, nobody else sees the world in the way that you do. Nobody else has the exact same experience that you do. Nobody else has the exact same skills that you do. So when you create something, it's so unique and so beautiful, and you must do it. You must deliver it. I'm on a rant now, aren't I? I feel like, but I see such talent in the people I work with, and I see them holding back, and it really, that's why I do what I do, because I know that, my job is to help people just push past this stuff and bring their beautiful gifts into the world. It's what needs to be done. So those are my steps. Finally, I did just want to say one last thing, and this is where I come into the picture and help people, is that hand-holding part. If you're someone who does need their hand held, maybe you just need one-off session where I can say to you, you've got it all, you already know what you're doing, just, give you that little permission slip, give you the pat on the back, and just let you know that yes, it's okay. So I do one-off sessions, but for some other people, a little bit more hand holding is required, and I do packages. So I've put a post up on my page today, and I can put it in the link if anyone's interested. I do a 3-week package and a 6-week package for those who are ready to just go that little bit deeper and need that little bit of extra hand holding. And I absolutely love doing it. I just love it. So if that's you and you need that, then either send me a message or just have a look at one of the earlier posts today so you know how I do it. Any questions, please ask me. Now I'm going to quickly look, because I haven't stopped talking. I've been on a bit of a roll today. And I'm just going to quickly look and see if there are any comments. And someone there, people are saying hi, which is so nice. There's so many beautiful people watching. How do you know that's true? Advice point number 1. Kristen, I think what you're asking there, Kristen, about when you have the desire that the divine wants you to do it. Are you asking how do I know that's true? I'm going to assume that that's what you're asking, because I reckon that's what I said first. I'm sure that is. And some other nice comments there about my one-on-ones. Thank you. So Kristen, if you're still watching, I think you are. I can't see. I think you are. How do I know it's true? I know that so deep within my body, and it's been my own experience. So you don't have to believe me, don't have to agree with me, but it's based on my own learned and lived experience, is that anytime I've had the desire to do something, it has been so worth it. Whether or not people, yes, okay, you are talking about that. Whether or not people buy it, I'm not saying if you have the desire to do something and you do it, then it will be an automatic success. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that anytime I've had a really strong desire and I feel it inside me that I've got to do something, this thing, create this thing, when I do it, amazing things happen. And they might be for me or for the people I serve. And I may not always know what they are, but it's looking back on it that I go, oh my God, now I know why I had to do that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yes, you say it, of course. So the first, for example, I'll just give you a quick example. The first course that I put out into the world was a pre-recorded course, and I spent fucking ages on it, right? I spent so much time on it. But I had this desire, to create this course, and it was called the Me Spot, and it was just it's going to change lives. This was all, and I just had to freaking do it. And I spent enormous amount of hours and effort on this thing, and I didn't sell very many. I know now why I didn't, because it just wasn't right. But I had to go through that process. I had to create that thing. I had to learn. I learned to do videos. I learned to, I learned the whole process of course creation, and I learned how to create ClickFunnels and all sorts of stuff. A lot of stuff that I don't use now. And now what I teach is a simpler method, but because I learned the complex way of doing it, and because I had this desire to create this thing, it's led me to where I am now. I couldn't be doing what I do now and doing it with the level of confidence that I do if I hadn't have done that stuff. So the universe didn't want the Me Spot course as such, but it wanted me to go through that beautiful process, like hard process. It was hard. And I learned so much. And so, you know, everything we do leads us to, you know, to the next thing. So I genuinely believe, and because when I did that course, it was like a calling. It was like, I can't not fucking do this. I can't put it down. And it's the same with my work now. I can't stop. I cannot. If I said tomorrow, do you know what, you know, I'm just not going to do coaching anymore and I'm going to go back to corporate, I think I would probably just lie outside on the ground and die because it's a calling, you know, and it's so deep within me. I have to do it. And even if I'm not making as much money as corporate, which I'm not yet, but I will, it's what I'm here to do. I just know it. And, you know, the universe gave me the desire to become a coach so that I could help other people. That's what I believe, so deep in my body. And I see that you get it. So I'm so glad that you asked that question. That's why I love lives where people actually interact and ask questions. I love it. So please always do that. Anyone who's thinking, yeah, I'm not so sure, just pop in a question. So let me just see. I think that's all the comments. Yes, it is. And that's really all I was going to say today. I'm so glad I came on. I've loved being here. I'm drinking my little, I'll just share with you. Looks like wee. Does it look like wee to you? It's yellow tea. It's called Prime Tea, and it's really good for the gut. I'm trying to do some work on my gut at the moment. It's a Ayurvedic recipe, and it's very easy to make, and it's quite tasty. Anyway, I hope you have a great evening, everyone. And anyone who, I'll be online again soon. I've been a bit off lately. I haven't been on, probably because of the death of our little kitten. But I'll be back on more, so I look forward to seeing you online soon. Bye, everyone. Take care.